Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Visit squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for more details. I'm in my office and I am having some future FOMO, future photography FOMO. I don't know if you guys get this, but I'm leaving for New Zealand in 8 hours and I can't decide what lens to bring. I'm thinking I can probably do the whole trip with my 24 to 100, a 24 to 70, and my 14 to 35, but my brain every single time I'm getting ready to leave on a trip is like, bring everything, because I'm worried I'm gonna miss something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to take. In the end, I took way too much camera gear, but spoiler, not all of it will arrive in one piece. Well before dawn, I head out onto the Portuguese freeway and bump my way to the airport. Rain and wind twist down in an effort to prepare me for my destination. New Zealand, here I come. My journey will also twist a bit. I found an amazing deal with points that I couldn't pass up, but it requires a night at London Gatwick, which is kind of the opposite direction from New Zealand. I've made some changes to my gear and to my goals, and I'm excited to put them to work. From a gear perspective, I'm filming now on the Osmo Pocket. I wanted more freedom, and I wanted that smooth gimbal feeling. From a vlogging perspective, expect more B-roll, more voiceover, more storytelling. I want to walk you through my footsteps. And my first footsteps have me off the plane in Gatwick, and then into a beautiful Singapore Airlines business class cabin. What a treat. Great food, great service, and a comfortable way to be stuck for 13 hours in a flying tube of metal. Just landed in Singapore. A little bit warmer than it was back in London. Wow. So I'm in Singapore for 12 hours at the airport, just on a layover. And I had grand plans to spend the entire time exploring the airport because if you don't know, this airport's really cool. But my brain is jet lagged and can't wrap around the fact that it's morning now instead of nighttime. I feel like I should be going to bed, but the light's just waking up. So we'll see how much exploring I actually do. My time in Singapore airport is a clear indication that I'm having more fun vlogging again, especially with the new kid. Before, I would have headed to the lounge, eaten about 32 desserts, and gotten some work done. This time, I'm messing around with the hyperlapse function on my camera. I'm exploring, without any sort of goal or plan in mind. And Singapore Airport is awesome. There are a bunch of gardens. Although, let's be honest, most of them are just glorified cigarette rooms. Like, come see our beautiful gardens, and have a middle-aged man blast smoke in your face. Still, it's better than the over-functional layout of most international airports. I end up in the butterfly gardens, where smoking luckily isn't permitted. It's pretty special. I mean, how many airports in the world have a butterfly garden, complete with waterfalls? Feeling the jet lag though, I do decide that those 32 desserts sound pretty good and I head to the lounge. I stay plopped on my seat for nearly 8 hours straight, aside from having this nice lady whip me up some noodles. Then, it's back on the plane for the final leg of my journey around the world. It's strange landing in New Zealand. Even from up above, it feels so familiar. Like the pilot got the directions wrong and plopped me down in Canada. Okay kids, I made it to Christchurch. I made it to New Zealand. I've never been to New Zealand before, so this is a new country for me. I've obviously never been to Christchurch, but not only have I never been here, I have no idea what's here at all. I'm crazy jet lagged right now. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. And then it's like really weirdly warm today. It's like 32 degrees and that's not normal. Like tomorrow it's supposed to be 16. So I feel disoriented. So I'm gonna just go walk around town and try to orient myself again. My disorientation is accentuated by the fact that though I've never been here, it feels so familiar. It kind of feels like if you mixed up Winnipeg and Victoria, Canada together. It feels kind of steampunk, kind of Wild West, and then more Asian than I expected.
It's nice. It seems like an incredibly livable city. Lots of nice restaurants, cafes, shops, and public spaces. It's nice. Oh, and sorry about the hyperlapses. I'm getting a bit carried away with my new gear.
Before I left Portugal, I was struggling to decide on what lenses I wanted to bring. In the end, I didn't go brave. I went as safe as possible. I went 15 to 35, 24 to 70, and 100 to 400. That kind of covers all the ground except for... I just opened my camera bag as I was packing up my stuff here, and my 24 to 70 is massively cracked. The lens is destroyed, the element is loose, and I'm not really sure how that happened. I have a really heavy laptop that I decided to bring with me on this trip because I have some video editing I need to do. And I think when I was swinging my backpack around, getting on and off of planes, I must have swung it and somehow my computer or the pressure smashed against the lens and it just shattered. Yeah. So my 24 to 70 is toast. I'm now going to have to do this New Zealand trip on 16 to 35 and 100 to 400. I might need to go find a camera shop.
Luckily, I found a camera shop and picked up a Canon 28 to 70mm f2.8 lens in town before also picking up 6 other people and hitting the Kiwi roads. So far, New Zealand is what I imagined it to be. Green, full of sheep, a little bit moody, and overwhelmingly beautiful. But there are some surprises too, like here at Kuratawahiti, and its incredible rolling hills speckled with giant limestone rock battlements.
Oof, okay. We're out at Christchurch. I like Christchurch, but I didn't come to New Zealand for a town that reminds me of Victoria, Canada. I came for mountains and coastline and rainforest and things like this. So I'm on a scouting trip here in New Zealand on the South Island for 10 days. And honestly, I haven't done any research. I'm just cruising around, hoping to find cool things to photograph with a group of 6 other people. And so far, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping not only is it beautiful, but also photogenic. So we'll see if we get that photogenic part as well, too, a little bit later on.
These rock formations are pretty stellar, and the views from the hill are stunning. But we've got lots of ground to cover. And strangely, a lot of that ground feels like home to me. I mean, this could be somewhere in Kananaskis. Although this giant parrot-looking dude called a Kia really couldn't be. We hopped off and down to a spot on Arthur's Pass called the Devil's Punchbowl. And I got my first taste of what, for me, makes New Zealand feel so special. It's these rainforests. The mountains, rivers, even the waterfalls could be anywhere. But these forests are so special. And as we cut through them, I finally start to feel like I'm somewhere unique. The Devil's Punchbowl is cool, but harsh light makes it a bit difficult to photograph. Still, I wanted to capture the sheer force of the water. So with my 100 to 400mm lens, I played around with some details of the water stepping down onto the rocks. Then, intent on not just capturing the force of the water, but feeling it, I walked up to the base for a quick shower.
Aye, aye! I'm under the Devil's Punchbowl. First shower of the year, really. Yay!
As my first full day exploring New Zealand comes to a close, I'm starting to understand this place as a travel destination. New Zealand isn't necessarily about being the most photogenic or the most wild. New Zealand is about being able to step out basically anywhere in the country and getting slapped across the face by nature. I'm the type of person who harnesses energy, inspiration, and life from nature. I can tell already that this country is having a positive effect on me. In the evening, we wind down the roads towards the South Island's northwest coast. As we buckle over the pass, it feels like we're entering a total new destination. It's lush over here. It's a green so deep it's almost blue. And the forest is dense, diverse, and just unreal. The forest's greens are carved by deep blue glacial rivers that look like they were drawn into the landscape by toddlers armed with crayons.
We're at Hokitika Gorge, and it is gorgeous. The watercolor is unbelievably blue, and you might be thinking the photo I just shared with you can't really be that blue. It is. I put a polarizer on the lens, obviously, so it helps bring out that blue more because you have all this reflection on the water, but the water is this blue. It is just absolutely incredible. So far, my impressions on New Zealand. I was worried that I was gonna come here and it was gonna be really, really, really beautiful, but hard to photograph. And I definitely feel like that's kind of been the case, but at the same time, I'm really, really enjoying it and trying not to focus so much on the photos and letting the photos kind of come to me as they come to me. One thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have brought a macro lens or a macro extension tube, because I'm finding so many opportunities to photograph small things here, and I didn't expect that. So a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of regret, but no regret for coming here because it's been so, so beautiful.
Macro lens or not, I decide to take a stab at some photos of the ferns. I mess around with some intentional camera movement here. Then I change my perspective and get under the brush for another photo. A little down the trail and we end up at a place called The Beach. At first glance, it feels like one of those places that's much better to look at than photograph. I mean, the waters are so aggressively blue they look cartoonish. But by simplifying things down a little bit and using some of my friends as models, I do walk away with a couple travel photos from here. Our journey then drags us south. We're headed towards the world-famous Franz Josef Glacier. But if I'm being honest, the glacier has retreated so far back it isn't really about the glacier anymore, especially as the main trail is closed due to flash flooding. Still, the area is beautiful, and I'm again drawn into the rainforest. A stream rolls under the trail and I find myself slipping and sliding my way along the rocks trying to get a photo.
Okay, so we're in Franz Josef, and unfortunately, it's super foggy. But fortunately, the fogginess looks pretty awesome. I found a stream that was pretty cool and attempted to photograph it, but instead I just kind of fell really hard on my knee, and then I fell in the water, and it was a little bit of an adventure. I don't know if there's a photo there, but it was fun. Now, I'm just walking towards the forest across this crazy suspension bridge. This bridge has a sign on the front saying, 1 person cool, 2 people okay, 3 people it might break and collapse and you might fall in the river. So, I don't want to fall in the river again. I have to say, I am having so much fun in New Zealand. New Zealand from a traveler's perspective is amazing. I kept hearing these stories about how it was getting over-touristed and kind of too busy, and maybe it's just not the right time of year for tourism or the busy time of year, but it's actually really quiet everywhere, and everything is beautiful and everything is so much fun, and I love the rainforests. I love the adventure feel to everything. I love the climate. It's just actually like one of the perfect places for me. I love it.
It feels so nice to be back in touch with the forest here. I feel embraced by it, immersed in it, energized. Though the rainforest isn't the easiest thing to photograph, it's easy to feel empowered by it.
Wow, we are having fun here, and I'm currently standing on what might be the most epic suspension bridge I've ever been on. It's called Roberts Point Swing Bridge or something like that, and it is absolutely unreal.
Over 100 meters across, the bridge feels like it sways 10 meters to the side as you walk across it. And it's one of those classic spots that kind of perfectly conveys the adventurous side of New Zealand. So with a trickle of rain slicking the walkway, myself and my buddy John head out onto the bridge for a couple very Instagram-y photos before we head back into town. In the morning, there was another bridge, although a little bit more stable. The photography goal this morning is Lake Matheson, which is known for its perfect morning reflections, and though it's not in the brochures, the mosquitoes. We sat in this spot while the mosquitoes fed on us for nearly an hour, hoping the light would join us. And though it teased us just enough for a couple decent photos, neither the light nor the big mountain peaks in the distance decided to come out in the morning. So, it was back into the forest and off to our next destination.
Okay, so we got up this morning and went to Lake Matheson. The mountains didn't show themselves. Beautiful reflection. But it could have been better if the mountains were out for sure. I am absolutely loving New Zealand. I'm having so much fun here. I think this is the sort of place that's kind of like my happy place. There's like rainforest, this temperate rainforest. I absolutely love this climate and really enjoying it. But I will say, as a photographer, I'm not getting the images on the level that I would want. I would say though that it is one of these places that as beautiful as it is not easy to photograph. You would need to spend a ton of time here to really find images and really, perfect images and make it work. You'd need to come into forests like this that are covered in moss and ferns that are absolutely beautiful. You need to spend a ton of time to get a really good image in there to showcase how beautiful it is. And I feel like it's the same everywhere we've been. So absolutely beautiful place, absolutely fun place to travel, but not the easiest place to showcase how beautiful it is. And I'm trying to let that slide and just enjoy it instead and just take what comes. And then maybe at some point in my life, I'll come back and really do a dedicated personal trip here where I dive deep into trying to get those great images. For now, this is a scouting trip, trying to check out what opportunities there might be, and there are a ton of them. So that's it for today's video. I think on the next video, we're heading around to Wanaka and then maybe Milford Sound. Hopefully the weather's good. I'll see you there. Peace.
Squarespace is a great place to build your photography website and business. It gives you all the tools you need to get rolling, including the new Design Intelligence, which combines 2 decades of design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology that'll help empower you to build the perfect site for you. Through your website on the Squarespace platform, you can also invoice clients, accept payments, and build an online store. There's even a scheduling platform which will save you time when booking and organizing client jobs. To get started, visit squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for more details and a 10% discount off your first purchase.